Okay. This one's just for fun. People come and show up. That'll be great. But I didn't want to leave the day with that atrocious one this morning. I mean, I meant every word I said. However, I think that these are just, it's getting to be Christmas time. And who needs the added stress? You know? I could sing some Christmas songs. I'm just going to do a simple live so that it's not so... Because it gets exhausting to have to deal with these child traffickers constantly and all of their BS. I'm drinking this chocolate chili tea. It's really good. You wouldn't think that chocolate chili tea would be any good, but it is really good. So why don't I do some show and tell at the very beginning? I might get it. I'll show you guys the two panels. One is an old panel that I was working on that I've had for a long time, but then that other one. Because contrary to the child traffickers, I do not just sit around all day and dwell on them. I try not to dwell on them at all, actually. So this one I've shown people that this is what I've done to it. So I put starry stuff around it. So there's that. And then I found this marble looking fabric. The quilting is going to be what makes this piece. I'm using invisible thread, and I'm going to end up quilting it within, so it'll just give it definition. Now this one, I'm using metallic threads. So this one is going to be metallic blues, metallic greens. This one's going to be pretty nice when I get done with it. But it's just better to sit around and do stuff. And I've been helping people out in town. So, I'm not gonna fight with people. There's not going to be any religious conversations in here. And there's not going to be anybody who is arguing with anybody. I'm just not going to deal with it. And so it's hard for me to steal your hair when this is actually my real hair. I was born with it. But I've been working on this. There have been people who are in town I look like Barack Obama. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't think I look like Barack Obama. I've never been mistaken for Barack Obama. Thank you. The artwork is just a way to express myself that's not on here, you know? And so, oh God, there's just little kids on here, huh? I just didn't want to leave it the way I did this morning. That whole thing got me irritated, and I'm I'm very proud of the heritage that I have that's Jewish, even though I wasn't Jewish. My dad wasn't Jewish. My grandmother Shurter may have been Jewish when she was a kid, but she wasn't when I knew her as a when I was a kid. She wasn't Jewish. Hung out with a lot of Jewish people. But with that said, I think that what's happening in the Gaza is so wrong. Is so wrong. There are children who are getting hurt, innocent. And it's just a land grab. Everyone's just anxious for everyone else, you know? And so I find that those people who are focused, of course I believe in God. Of course I believe in God. The teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. In so many ways, the teachings of Jesus Christ saved me. That's the reason why I kind of irritate people, because I say Merry Christmas. I don't care. I say Merry Christmas. I That's what I grew up with. I'm in an area, I just say Merry Christmas. It For me, it's just, and it's not a ding on anybody. It's not a ding on any religion. It's not anything. But this whole deny yourself to be just like everyone else. I'm so not an atheist. And so, you know, and so if I say Merry Christmas and someone says, I actually celebrate Hanukkah, then I follow it right through and say, well, Happy Hanukkah. And I've also had someone tell me that they celebrate Kwanzaa. Yes, I believe in God. I believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ. I'm a shamanic Christian, you know? I do believe in God. I believe that God's justice is coming for the child traffickers. I just let everyone out, and now you want to go out again? You want to go out again? Is that why you're here with your big brown eyes? You can't get up on me from underneath the table. No, I'm not Catholic. You guys are going to have to excuse me for a minute. I'm being beckoned to have a couple that want to go outside. It'll only take me a second. Hold on. Oh, in a few minutes I'll have to come back out. Down. Okay, I have to agree with that. I say Merry Christmas. And it's funny because I have a lot of people who really appreciate the fact that I do. You know, I had someone who actually said that they celebrate Kwanzaa, so I wished him a happy Kwanzaa. It's not, I don't feel like it's my job, nor is it my responsibility to know what people want to be called or what holidays they want to be called. It gets to be exhausting. And there's a funny movie out there called A Sordid Wedding. And the woman has a notepad and she keeps trying to keep up with all of the, oh, well, you can't use that word anymore. You got to use this word. Well, you can't use that word. To me, the holiday is a celebration of the birth of Christ. That's what it is for me. And it's it's important to me. And so I say Merry Christmas because it is the celebration of the birth of Christ. And I'm not going to apologize for that. If people do not celebrate Christmas and they're Jewish, then I'll follow up and say Happy Hanukkah. You know? I just washed my hair just a while ago, so it's kind of that it's dry, but I didn't style it. After I did the live this morning, I was so irritated when I got off. It just exhausted me, so I went and laid down. And then I got up and I felt better. So I went and took a shower and washed my hair. I got to be careful about washing my hair too much because especially with it being wintertime, it dries out. But I love Christmas, even though I haven't put up a tree in years because it's just me. I don't see any reason why. And I'm not a big Santa fan. Jesus Christ said that the worst thing is to be judged and be found wanting. And that's all Santa Claus represents. What do you want for Christmas? What is Santa Claus bringing you? I tell people all the time, Santa doesn't even have the reindeer shit on my roof, you know? I don't do anything for Christmas. I'll end up sewing. That's what ends up happening. I used to, when my friends weren't dead, and my sister and I were talking, I always did a Christmas Eve dinner because I would just make, ham. A lot of people like ham. I'm not a big ham fan. I don't like ham. I just don't much care for pork in general. I don't mind pork chops, but I'm not a big, some people just have to have bacon on everything, and I'm not, I can take it or leave it, I love turkey. If I ever had the money, I would go get a prime rib roast. I would get a prime rib roast. And I would end up making a small prime rib roast. I think that would be, my grandmother Shurter always made roast. And I always was trying to duplicate it. And then I could never duplicate her roast. And then it was I was told, well, the reason why you can't is because you're not using the right cut of meat. And she used the same stuff that they make ribeyes out of. That's what her roast was. So it was a big ribeye roast. Delicious, but who can afford $100 for a roast? You know? And so I pretty much stay. Me and the dogs. I did make a Thanksgiving meal. Um, I mean, it wasn't a huge, like what a lot of people do, but I made a turkey and green bean casserole and candied squash. It was really good. I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I have a $20 off coupon for the Brazilian Steakhouse. I don't think they're open on Christmas though. But even with $20 off, the damn thing will cost me $60 with tip and everything. You got to tip. My mother always said, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to go out and eat. And when I did work, that's what I did. I waited tables. I don't watch a lot of television. So I've never seen Witcher 3, and I've never seen Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, I don't usually watch. Television kind of bores me. I don't have the attention span to sit there. And then when we had television that had commercials, oh man. Oh, I'm so not. I'm too old. Those are video games, not movies. Funny. You can tell I just aged myself. I have never really paid much attention to Nick Fuentes. My genes suck. That's why I'm shaved, because I can only grow hair on my face here. Otherwise, I'd look homeless. But I will say that when I went and got my hair trimmed a month or two ago, I'm getting gray at the temples. None of the rest of it, I mean, obviously you can tell that my hair is kind of a reddish color. Strawberry blonde, I guess they would call it. But I'm getting gray at the temples, and my beard is white. But my beard, my goatee, has been white, silver, since I was in my 20s. I went to a person and had them cut my hair because the first time ever I cut my hair, but I had slept. It was longer, and I had slept at night, and I'd had a tie in my hair. I fell asleep with a tie in my hair, and when I woke up, it was in a knotted mess, and I was irritated, and I was in the shower, and I'm such a dumbass sometimes. I turned my head sideways and just took scissors and cut it. Well, that was great. I got the knot out, but then when I put my hair up, this hair was tall, this side was down here. So it was all lopsided. And so I cut a little bit there, but it was, you guys are having a lot of issues in the UK, from what I understand. We don't have, I mean, we have different immigrants than you guys do. It sounds weird. And I'm not against immigrants at all. Even though it is dangerous to have people here and you don't know that they're here. That's the problem with that. They can do crimes and then you don't even know who they are. And so I am not surprised that there's infighting going on at Turning Point. Now that Shirley Kirk is gone, they're all vying to be number one. You know, they're all vying to be number one, but they're just, you know, I've spent 59 years of my life being gay, but I've been celibate for since I got divorced, which has been about, I guess, 13 years, maybe even longer. I've been divorced, and I've been celibate that entire time. And it's just because, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with being gay, but the gay lifestyle is awful. It's based on all of the wrong stuff: youth, sex, drugs, money, and I'm not interested in that. And so, because of my faith, I've been celibate, and I don't ever plan on being in another relationship. I don't plan on ever getting naked and jiggy with anybody ever again. I'm old now, babe. And I'm not saying that gay people are inherently bad. It's just, it's not a lifestyle that I want to lead. And besides, I'm old. Nobody, you know, the gay lifestyle is like Logan's Run. After 30 years old, unless you're really rich or you're really built or you have a really big penis, nobody wants you. And I'm fine. Not that I haven't, because I've actually gotten hit on, which is bizarre. I have gotten hit on a lot lately, especially. I don't understand it because I have mirrors in my house. I know what I look like. But I'm just not interested. I loved you in The Lord of the Rings. The reason why I grew out my hair is because I couldn't afford a haircut every 6 weeks. I used to have my hair chopped 1/4 of an inch from my skull. That was how short my hair was. But, and then I had stuff on top. But I couldn't afford a haircut. And so I let it grow long. And now, even though you guys can't see, I have kind of a bald spot at the back. I have that monk's thing at the back of my head. And so now I like to have long hair because especially in the summertime, I can pull it up and my head doesn't get sunburned. Otherwise, I have to wear a hat all the time because my head gets sunburned. And I hate that. And so I just, you know, it's not because I'm a hippie. It's not because I'm making a statement or anything like that. I've tried to clip my own hair and my hair grows out weird. I mean, you can't tell now because it's long, but with that said, you guys got to give me another couple minutes. I just got to run downstairs. The dogs are obviously wanting to come in, so I'll be right back. I live in this house, but I am but a servant in this house. My dogs are the ones who run everything. And that's okay. They want in, and so I'm gonna go let them in. So I'll be right back. I've never tried cornrows. My hair is too thin. My hair was halfway down my back when it got knotted. The problem with long hair is that I am from the USA. I'm very close to Omaha, Nebraska. So I am in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the area everybody flies over. They call it a flyover state, flyover region for a reason. The only reason you'd land in Omaha, Nebraska is probably to catch a flight someplace else. It gets hot in the summer. You have to be, it gets hot in the summer. In the wind, if I'm driving and the car window is down, I have to either have a hat on or I have to have it pulled back and tied. Otherwise it gets everywhere. And it gets in your mouth when you sleep. That's an issue, you know? Islam is no problem here. We don't have a lot of Muslims here. A lot of the people that we have are Hispanic. And I personally don't see the problem with immigrants. They're not the ones they're not the ones doing a bunch of crimes. You know? And that's why they're not throwing out criminals. They're going to people at their work. And what I'm afraid of is that they get rid of all the Hispanics. America is not going to be able to function because you ain't going to get the little white kids to do what the Hispanics do. You know? Climbing around on roofs. They do a lot of roofing around here. A lot of tree service. You know? A lot of the manual labor jobs that people don't want to do. I find a lot of immigrants are incredibly hardworking, really good people. And America was built on immigration. But I will tell you that there's a bunch of white people I could definitely ship off to an island. You know? I have a friend of mine who's an artist whose husband was Muslim and she converted to Muslim. He is the sweetest, nicest man you've ever met. And I love my friend, obviously. And, but she lost friends actually choosing, you know, well, and that's true. People would do the jobs if they paid enough, but they don't pay anything. And the working conditions are terrible. When COVID hit, there's a town near me, a lot of processing plants. And a lot of those people were working during COVID, and there was like a foot of water they were working in a foot of water. And it wasn't water based. It was just because the places were just, you know, we need better working conditions and we need better pay for Americans, you know? The fact that teachers get paid so little, no wonder we have such a deficit. What do you guys want now? There's no problems with people who... Is it queer friendly? Well, it's not against gay people, you know? But there is a such thing called Islamophobia. There's ignorance everywhere. And that's what phobias are, is ignorance. Islamophobia, ignorant. Homophobia, ignorant. And what I find is that most people who are homophobic, especially guys, are the ones secretly getting it up the butt. That's the reason why they're having the problem. you know? And so, Islam isn't taking over. Not in America, anyway. Dearborn, Michigan, I read about that. And people that live out there and around there say, it's wonderful. Would you stop? You just scared the crap out of me. What did you just do? You weirdo. Sorry. I don't know what you were doing. Oh, you were so spoiled. Now that she's gone outside, now she wants love. That's the problem is that, no, she's a girl. There's not, I'm going to put you on a timeout. We're not going after anybody today. You're only timed out for 10 minutes, but there's no going after anybody. I'm not going to deal with hate. My shirt. Love God, love people. My friend Cognitive sent me this for my birthday. And I'm not a big sweatshirt person. And so I'm not a big sweatshirt person, but I really like this sweatshirt. That's why I'm there. What I would like to see happening in America is us stopping sending billions of dollars to Israel over and over and over and over. America is not in any position to be sending billions of dollars to anybody right now. And they're just spending that money willy-nilly, sending it out to everyone. And people are suffering. And then they don't even help poor people. I mean, letting poor kids starve is wrong. Genocide is wrong. The fact that I actually have to say those things is just, it shows that we're in an upside down world. You know? God is everything. There's nothing that isn't God. We're all God. Everything is God. It's all the energy. You know? God is life. That's how I feel. There's nothing that isn't God. The dark is God's. You know? It's not like the devil. And I think that the devil, a lot of people actually focus on the devil when really it's not the devil that's causing them the problems, it's their own behavior. And then I just think that I just don't adhere or buy much into the devil made me do it. You know, we are responsible for the things that we do. We're responsible for the energy we put out of there, you know? Environmental stewardship, we're supposed to be taking care of things, you know? I don't actually put a name to it. I'm just telling you, as a shaman, I know that heaven exists. I'm just saying that heaven exists. The other side exists. The Luciferians referred to it as the other side of the looking glass. There was no multi-dimension when I was a kid. There was this side and the other side. You're either alive or you're not. And if you're not, you're still alive because there's no such thing as death. Energy can be neither created nor destroyed. And so I'm just saying that heaven exists. And I'm saying that there's nothing you can't, exactly. LOL Cool J. God is real aspect or dimension to ourselves that is always there. There's nothing you can do and not have it be part of you. Right. Maybe God is consciousness. That it, I mean, I'm getting a little bit out there, but I believe in the word. I believe in the word. I believe we're supposed to love. Love God, love life, love each other. That's what I believe in. And I don't understand the arguments against that. I don't understand the arguments against it. God is either consciousness or somehow filters himself through consciousness. That's what I think. I don't believe we're a series of electrical impulses. And yet, yeah, but that's all part of it. The energy came from somewhere. I just believe in the word. I believe in the word. Personally, me, the story of Jesus Christ isn't even original. There's a story that goes before that was the same story. A lot of atheists use that. Personally, me, what I believe is that everything that we know was designed by the fallen. This reality was designed by the fallen. We were in the garden, we wanted to know all about evil, and the fallen wanted control. So God blessed mankind and the fallen. The fallen was given control over mankind, and we got all the evil we wanted. And now, look at things. But the fallen aren't here anymore. The powers that have kept this going are gone. And so the spiritual principalities, and let me tell you, you may not believe in God or the devil, but I grew up with a group of Luciferians that are behind this child trafficking, that are in control of everything, and they most definitely do. Just because, you can't judge everyone else by you, I think that Jesus is a real person. I believe, and regardless, the teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. It is how it works. The teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. You can't argue. You can argue things in the Bible all day long, but I never hear anybody argue about what Jesus Christ said. What he taught. Loving each other. Caring about each other. We reap what we sow. And so therefore, because there's empirical evidence, if you live your life and you know anything about it, you'll see the truth in it. And that's what I believe. But I think that if your heart is filled with love and you're living your life as best as you can with the word, but you don't have a clue who Jesus Christ is, I don't think you go to hell. Jesus Christ never told us to worship him. That was the church. And let me tell you, for someone who has written a book before, editing makes all the difference in the world. David@davidshurter.com is the best way to reach me. I should put that in the description too. I really didn't put anything in the description. I really didn't put anything in the description. If you guys are interested and you want to show your support or donate, I'm on disability. Some people donate to me sometimes, but for the most part, I make $1,000 a month. So if you want it, my PayPal and Venmo are Shurter. Don't feel like you have to. And if you don't have any money, don't hurt yourself. And then I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. I'll put the link in there too. Anybody who wants to donate, feel free. I will tell you that a lot of times, David at davidshurter.com. So it's just my name.com, and it's David. So it's David and then SHURT as in Tom ER. You know, Jesus never told his disciples to worship him. He wanted people to share love and compassion. Exactly. And that's what I feel we're compelled to do. I will tell you that I warn people, if you donate to me, just realize that I will go to Omaha a lot of times and give homeless people money. I know that that's a controversial thing, but I've been homeless before. And so if they buy some alcohol or they buy cigarettes with it, so what? Do you realize how hard it is to be homeless? If I can give one person relief, a little, just anything, and I can't afford to put them in an apartment, I'm broke as well. So anything, if they, just to show that you care, you know? He did want them to give up their old ways and become new. Stop focusing on want and start focusing on give, you know, and appreciation. Heaven loves a grateful heart. Just saying, you know. I try to be a good man. I have my moments. There is definitely a part of my personality that's like biting down on tinfoil. The child traffickers have discovered that, you know. But you know, when I'm not talking stuff that they're upset about, they don't flood my channel with bots. This morning they flooded, there was not 1,000 people there. When I got done and YouTube showed the number, there was only 113 people who had come into that chat. But they filled it with bots, and so it was like 1,700 people. There was not 1,700 people in a 45-minute thing. But when I talk about Jesus and my faith and all of that, so this 6'7", what exactly is this 6'7"? I still don't know what it is. Is it someone's height? Where did this 6'7" come from? I'm an old dude and I don't watch television, you know? And so, like I said, if you give donations, I go down and give people, it is height. Okay. Whose height? Who's 6'7" that they're saying, I always wanted to be a little bit taller. I'm almost 6'3". But then when I got old and I realized that after 6'3", then you have to go into the big and tall thing. And that's true. One dummy sees one thing and then they copy. It always made me wonder, who sat around and thought eating the Tide Pod was like a normal thing that anybody wanted to do? Because that was a thing for a while. They were eating Tide Pods. I've never, when I'm doing laundry, it's never dawned on me to, oh wow, this Tide, it smells good on my clothes, maybe it tastes good. I'm 6'3" with my shoes on. When I stand up straight and I'm 6'3", you know? And that's what ends up happening. Everybody just worships. That's, with me, I just, the people that were 6'7" started eating Tide Pods. I just have, you know, or eating an entire spoonful of cinnamon. You realize that can kill you, right? People didn't realize, because it asphyxiates you. You can't get a breath. It's dangerous to do that. Who sits around and thinks of these things? But then, I guess in Florida, they were having this thing with bath salts. People were smoking bath salts, and because I'm not into drugs, I thought bath salts was something different. So I had to ask people, what are bath salts? And they were like, you know, the stuff that you add to your bath. People are smoking that? Whatever Why would you smoke that? It's great in my bath. Greetings from the north. I like the north. I like cold weather though. I prefer cold weather over hot. I'd much rather go up into Canada than when I went to Hawaii. I hated Hawaii. It was so humid and so hot there. It was like living in hell. I like it when it's cold. I don't mind cold weather. If I could move, and I could move out of the States, I always say I would move to Canada, but really when it comes down to it, I would move in a heartbeat to one of those Scandinavian countries. Norway, Finland, Iceland. You know, I would love that. I just would love that. But I don't know if they like Americans anymore. I guess you're supposed to tell people you're from Canada if you go abroad. I'm not traveled at all. I'll just say I've been to Canada. I don't think I've not even been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've been across the border in Canada a couple times. Went to Montreal. I loved Montreal. If I was going to move to Canada, that's where I would like to go, is Montreal. But, and I guess it rains all the time in Ireland, but my mom was Irish, and I love the rain. Rain doesn't depress me, you know? I wouldn't mind checking out Germany. I wouldn't mind checking out the UK. I'm not well traveled. I'm just, traveling costs money. Been all over the United States because when I was married, my other half had a job where they flew him all over and hooked him up into 5-star hotels. So that was great. I went all over the United States, went to Hawaii, been all over the United States. And I've lived in different places in the United States. Lived in Florida for a while, lived on the East Coast for a while, lived out in Washington State for a while. I even spent 8 months in Chicago. Now, as far as cold goes, I really didn't like Chicago. But it wasn't the cold, it was the wind. You get that wind effect through those buildings, and oh my God, the wind could knock you down. I didn't much care for that. But I like cold weather. I prefer cold weather. I prefer winter over summer. And I love Christmas time. It won't be a white Christmas because I think today is in the 50s. The weather has become bizarre. It snows and then it doesn't stay. And so this is such a much nicer live than what this morning was. This morning I was being inundated. Thomas doesn't pay me anything. Thomas and I are not friends. Thomas is part of all of this mess. He's too involved. Why don't you ask how much Tara Joyce paid me? Because it fits right there. Kind of in the same league as far as I'm concerned. Not really impressed whatsoever. But that's what this group does. I'm dealing with these child traffickers. What ends up happening is that they all tell the truth on each other. They all tell the truth on each other. But then what ends up happening is that Sewertown says, oh, you got your information from Thomas, so therefore nothing is valid. And Thomas does the same thing. Oh, you got all your information from Corey Daniel or Tara Joyce. And so none of that is valid. They expect you to throw the baby out with the bathwater. My experience is they all tell the truth on each other. And I'm not on either one of their sides. I oppose all of them. Because I believe that it's all part of the child trafficking thing. They're all part of this child trafficking operation. They're all controlled opposition. and they all play games, and they're all trying to protect their criminal enterprise. You know? We are not best friends. He's trying to be nice to me right now. He is trying to be nice to me. But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. He's tried to slip my throat. I'm not friends with people who try to slip my throat. I'm certainly not friends with Sewer Town. And it really doesn't make any difference because I think you all need to be investigated and arrested for child trafficking and your criminal enterprises. I know so much about Sewer Town now. I know so much about Tara Joyce now. I know about the person who tried to sell their kid. And the police are going to know all about that too. I'm putting it all together and I'm going to put it on a blog, but you're going to need to have a password to get to it. So it's not going to be information that's going to be available to everyone. I want to bring your whole group down. Every frickin' one of you, I want to bring down. You're all cut from the same cloth. Every side. You're not controlled opposition. You are controlled opposition. You don't oppose each other. And this ping pong thing that you play with victims of, oh, you can't be trusted because you're with this person, or you can't be trusted. I'm not with any of them. I'm not with any of them. And I think they all need to be investigated. And I think their criminal enterprise needs to be brought down. I know Chief Handler is Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. I know they're using the Satanic Temple after-school daycare to target the kids. That's why with this whole Jeffrey Epstein, they're not releasing any information. They're breaking the law right now. They haven't released all of it. What they do release is so selective. They're not following the very law that Trump signed himself into law. They don't give a shit. And this group all works together and they're all protecting their criminal enterprise. They all are protecting their criminal enterprise. They need to be investigated, they need to be arrested, and they need to be incarcerated. Flat out. Every one of them. Let me go through the list. Michael Aquino, Thomas Schoenberger, Gabe Hoffman, Lucian Greaves, a.k.a. Johnny Dub, a.k.a. he has a million aliases. Founder of the Satanic Temple. Sewer Town, Corey Daniel, a.k.a. Phoenix Enigma, Alicia Ray, a.k.a. the Sicilian Witch, Jesse Davis, Manuel Chavez, who is a.k.a. Defango, Daniel Dowd, Geo Farnsworth, Tara Joyce, Craig Sawyer. My stepmother is involved with them. That's the funny thing about it is that my stepmother, Terry, they all think that my stepmother is Joanne Shurter, is friendly to them. They don't realize what she's trying to do is put them in between her and me so that I focus on them and I don't focus on her at all. That's what she's doing. You think she has allegiances to any of you? Really? The woman doesn't have allegiances. She doesn't have any friends. Not anybody who really likes her. People tolerate her because she's a vindictive witch who will go out of her way to make your life miserable if you cross her. We all know people like that. You know, we all know people like that. I'm just not, you know, I got involved with this to actually, and the fact that people think that Thomas is influencing me, I didn't even know Thomas when I wrote my book. I started my blog in 2011. I was at this way before Isaac Cappy even was even probably out of diapers, you know? I've been at this for a long time. I'm an old guy. Nobody's influencing me. Well, then don't read it. Funny thing about it is that I was a finalist on Book of the Year. So, You come in here to now Sewer Town is in here, and they're gonna end up. I'm not the one who's the meth heads. You guys are all a bunch of meth heads who all do all kinds of stupid shit to people. Blackmailing. Tara Joyce didn't help me write shit. They're all in here because they all want to actually turn it out to be, oh, I have a brain. I have a brain. I like to use it. I wouldn't trust your group, not a one of you, to take out my fucking garbage, let alone counsel me on anything. That's how it works. You know? Don't have any interest. I think you guys are all involved with child trafficking, and I think you need to be investigated, and I think you need to be arrested. And I think God is about ready to deal with you. I'm pretty sure that God is about ready to deal with you. And can I get a hallelujah for that? You know? This is all coming to a close. And your side lost a long time ago. Just too damn dumb to realize it. Just too damn arrogant. Self-importance and all of that. I'm around Nebraska. I'm okay. They're blasting me with their directed energy weapons. They've been blasting me with their directed energy weapons. God seems to help me get through it. I'm not the one complaining about tummy issues and blaming them. But then I'm also not the one who actually goes and watches any of their shit. They obsess over me, not the other way around. I do use my real name on YouTube. I use my real name, period. I don't need to. All these fake identities don't have any interest. None. None at all. And I knew when I started doing this, and I started doing this, 2007, 2008, after my dad died, and I realized he had skeletons in his closet and he was speaking literally. You don't know my location. But what an idiot you are. You're anonymous, asking all kinds of weird-ass questions. And then you think your bullshit actually is indicative of me, when really, your bullshit is your own. You own your own bullshit. I don't care what your name is. I just blocked you. But I'm sure that you have a myriad of different accounts, so you'll be back in a second. That's how you all work. That's how you all work. This child trafficking bullshit needs to be dealt with. They murdered Isaac Happy, not a frickin' thing happened. 11 months after they murdered Isaac Happy, they tried to kill me with that Early, Iowa gas station explosion. Not a damn thing happened. Look at the Epstein stuff. Any of those victims get justice at all? Has any of them got justice? No. Never. It never happens. And this group is more than aware of that. They're more than aware, because most people will look away because they don't want to be involved. And so evil thrives when good men do nothing. And that's good men, good women. We're called to stand up against evil, even if it is not in our own self-interest to do it. And it's not in my self-interest. This has been awful. This life has been hard. I have an entire group of people. They break into my house and do all kinds of weird shit to me all the time. They make videos of my house blowing up and burning down. They make videos of me being lynched. They've passed out flyers all over town with my address and my picture, calling me a pedophile, encouraging people to show up at my house and hurt me. That's what they do. That's what this group has done. And it's easy to prove. I can show everything. And so therefore, they need to be arrested. They attempted a myriad amount of attempts at identity theft with my disability for Social Security. You know? And my sheriff is well aware. Fuck, Thomas just told me, oh, well, they all called. Well, how the fuck did this little musician know that? How did he know how the police responded? If he's not talking to Neil, I know he's talking to Neil, who's involved with the meth operation here in town, and everybody knows it. And that's not a damn thing gets done. Not a damn thing. And it's because everyone wants to look away and nobody wants to be bothered. Well, I'm not looking away from child traffickers. I'm not. And that's what this whole shit is about, is child trafficking. The whole reason why they murdered Isaac Cappy is because they used his Famalam program to turn it into attracting child traffickers. No wonder my stepmother was attracted to it. My stepmother is a definite psychotic child killer. I can say that from personal experience. Psychotic, violent bitch. No wonder she found Sewer Town. And now they're all trying to play damage control because there's so many people who are coming to me and telling me all about them. I don't have to investigate anything. I have plenty of people just coming and telling me stuff all the time who hate this group, who want to bring them down. And so they're focused on me because I'm pretty much out there trying to bring them down. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And I'm not going to be bullied or berated into stopping. I'm not going to do it. Never been popular. Never needed to be popular. So therefore I can stand on my own. I'm very good at standing on my own. And I'm quite comfortable at it. Because I'm not alone. All of heaven is with me. Heaven is the whole reason why I'm still here. God is the whole reason why I'm still here. Because anyone else would have been taken out a long time ago. God knows they've tried. Over and over and over they've tried. Over and over and over. And they fail every time. But then there's that whole no weapon used against me shall prosper. I didn't write that. But I am a living example of the truth of it. Because the only reason I'm still here is because of God. That's just the way it works. Jesus Christ is infallible. The teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. And I love this time of year because I love celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. This is a nativity scene. I have nativity scenes out all over my house all year round because it gives me hope. It is a good feeling. I like the word. I like being obedient to God. These idiots who aren't obedient to anybody are all over the place. They have no self-control whatsoever. But that's what happens when you tell yourself that you can just do whatever you want and nothing matters. Chaos usually ensues. And I'm not interested in chaos. I'm not interested in them. I think they need to be investigated. I think they need to be arrested. I've never deviated from that. So with that said, I'm going to pray. And then I'm probably going to end this. This has been a fun one. You know, this has been a fun one. Well, your name, and you spelled delusional wrong, dumbass. Maybe try to read a book. I gotta take a picture of that just so people can say it. You spelled it wrong, dumbass. There's this thing on the computer. It's a great program, dictionary.com. That way you don't look like a dumbass. Because you look like a dumbass. You're not delusional, you're just stupid. Rather be delusional than a dumbass. Heaven, I come to you as your servant. Thank you for this afternoon. This was a good idea to come on here and just talk. I am grateful. There's hope in the world, and people are waking up and finding the grace within themselves. And I can see that, and I am joyous about it. Not everybody, obviously, but the few that are make all of this worthwhile. You sent your son, our brother, Jesus Christ, to come down and teach us about the word. And there are many of us who are very grateful for that. You saved me in so many ways. Your son's teachings are infallible. The word is infallible. And I love the celebration of your son's birth. And that's all I really can say about that. I say these things lovingly, as humbly as I can, in your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Dude, you're just an idiot. But I got rid of you, so you don't have to worry about my prayers anymore. They come on here uninvited and then have all kinds of criticisms, but they weren't invited. No one's put in, I totally believe in Christ. I totally believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ are infallible. Are infallible. The word is how it's supposed to be. Love God, love everyone else. That's how it works, or it's supposed to. And if it doesn't work that way in your life, you better rethink your life choices, because you aren't going to like where it takes you. You know? With that said, I might just throw in Godspell today. It's a great musical done in the 70s based on the book of Matthew. It's an incredible. For those of you who actually just would like to hear scripture, but you want to hear it in a different way, you know, Godspell is one of my favorite movies. But with that said, Merry Christmas, everyone. Unless, of course, you're Jewish, and then Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Kwanzaa, or, you know. I think saying Happy Holidays is stupid, because these holidays are rarely ever happy. They're generally have everybody stressed out. People are usually angry, and New Year's Eve is just everyone gets drunk. I'm just not interested in. You know, just not interested. And so, Bait, thank you for coming in, for those of you who did. And, John, you're the gay dude from Australia. It's funny how so many of you are these closet homosexuals, and I'm talking sewer town. The guys all seem to like it up the butt, and yet you're as homophobic as you can get. I'm just gonna block you, dumbass. I don't see any reason why to engage you. You're not worth my time. You're not worth my time. And I'm not responsible to feed your obsession. Just not. I don't care about you enough to give a shit what you think, either in any capacity. You hurt children. That's the only thing I care about. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, your stupid ass. Is that your group hurts children and you need to be brought down. Flat out. And I'm not going to get shut up because you bully people. Go bully someone who actually gives a shit about what you think. Because if you're a child trafficker or you're a pedophile protector, that's the only thing I need to know about you. It's the only thing that makes a difference. It's the only thing that matters. And it's an abomination. I'm more than willing to help tie I would love to help drown you in the ocean. You know? With that said, on that happy note, you know, oh, see, John is back now. I told you, it only takes a minute. I haven't heard any kids. And that's what ends up happening. Let's just play a game. I just blocked him, and now let's watch him come back. I'm telling you, they have about a zillion different aliases. They have a zillion different aliases. What they're talking about with my nephew was when I was 13. And I was having a psychotic break, and I was 13. I am now 59 years old. You know? I don't have to admit shit. He's a pedophile. If you think that he's funny, then go hang out on their channel. You know? I don't think pedophiles are funny. I don't think child trafficking is funny. I don't think evil shit is funny. I just don't. That's just me. That's just me. And I know I don't stand alone on that. I think a lot of people have a lot of problems with pedophiles and pedophile protectors. I think a lot of people have an issue, and they should. It's an abomination to God. And so, and besides, they're all homophobic, and yet they're all secretly taking it up the butt. They're all sleeping with each other. All these guys are sleeping with each other. But isn't that what it's like? The most homophobic people that you find are the ones who are the closeted ones, who can't deal with themselves, who can't deal with their own shit, and they're not honest about it to themselves. They're not honest about it. But I'm 59. There's no way I'm going to continue groveling for a bunch of child traffickers over something that happened 47 years ago when I myself was a child. I was 13. I had just been forced to light some dude on fire. I was having a psychotic break. Tried to kill myself over it, over and over and over. Ended up in a mental institution for 5 months because I was so self-destructive. But these child killers can kill Isaac Cappy. They'll kill anybody who tries to expose their criminal enterprise. They'll come in here and actually cause problems. And I'm not the only person. They do it to anyone who stands against them, who's vocal and stands against them. And if you're okay with pedophiles, you better rethink your life choices. That's all I'm saying. Or give them your own kids. But then that's how it works a lot of times. Parents give their own kids away. Carmen, I think her name is. Tara. Carmen, is that the name?